Hello and welcome to the Drawhunter. I am your charming host, Kevin Cleary, and this is the only soccer gambling podcast where we don't pick any winners. We hunt for the stalemate. We hunt for the result that pays better, the draw. We don't follow the crowd here. We set our own path. I like to bet the draw because draws happen a lot. 30% of all professional matches in soccer end in a draw. That's across all leagues and international competitions. So why not take a few minutes and try to figure out when and where the draws are going to happen? One, we don't want to let our win bets get burned. And two, maybe we just want to win more. If this is your first time listening to the show, soccer bets at a sportsbook are settled on results after regulation time, the 90 minutes on the clock, plus any stoppage time. If a game goes into overtime or penalty kicks, that doesn't apply to our draw bet and makes it a valid option because it's there for every game. And we look for the hidden value draws, the games where the market is pricing outcomes too heavily towards the favorites or volatility. These are the games where parity on the pitch pays off for us. And even if you want to bet on winners, I don't blame you. I do that too. Running down the games through this kind of perspective is still a valuable handicapping tool, and handicapping is all about getting more information so you can make the right decision. So if you're listening to the Drawhunter podcast, congratulations. You're already ahead of the curve. Now let's take a minute and go over last episode's winners from the weekend action. Our last episode on Thursday had games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not too many. We only had about, I think, 7 picks over the weekend, the last week. And on Friday, Tondela versus FC Alversa in Portugal ended in a 1-1 draw, and that was priced at plus 205. On Saturday, we had a winner with Dundee versus Livingston. That ended in a 2-2 draw up in the Scottish Premiership League. And that draw was priced plus 225 for us. Then on Sunday, we had 2 winners. We had Napoli versus Roma, and I'm probably the only person who called that draw. That one was plus 205. They ended 2-2. And then down in Greece, we had PAOK versus AEK, and that one ended 0-0, and that draw was priced at plus 233. So if you were playing any of the games that we picked on Thursday, you probably had a good weekend. Congratulations. Now let's get into the games and the picks for the midweek action. These fixtures that we're going to talk about combine low scoring averages, balanced possession rates, maybe some injury disruptions, some historical draw frequency, possibly, and the market pricing that combines to give us the contrarian value that we're looking for when we make a draw bet. The games I'm talking about today are going to be taking place February 16th, 17th, and 18th, 2026. And we're going to start it off with some fun action in the UEFA Champions League. I don't think we actually have any games on Tuesday. I think this game takes place on Wednesday. Club Bruges versus Atletico Madrid. And Bruges is the home team here. This is a game taking place in Bruges. And they're plus 280 as the home underdog. Atletico Madrid is minus 109 as the road favorite. The draw is priced at a fat plus 280. Ball possession rates are really not that far apart mathematically. Bruges has the ball usually in their games about 46, 47% of the time. Atleti has the ball about 52% of the time. Scoring-wise in the Champions League this year, Bruges has scored 15 and allowed 17. Atletico Madrid has scored 17 and allowed 15, so they're very close, even if Bruges does concede a couple extra goals. The thing about this game is these guys don't play very often. But when they do, 2 out of the last 3 games over the last couple of years ended in draws. Both of those draws out of the last 3 games ended 0-0. Bruges just parks the bus and sends everybody to the back and plays a very conservative game. But Atleti also plays a very conservative game, when they are away, especially in an away leg like they are at Bruges this weekend or this week. They're going to meet a Bruges side that is structurally sound and unlikely to be overwhelmed by their action. The possession profiles, the goal patterns, and the head-to-head history all point towards a low-event match. Remember, their draws tend to be 0-0, the last 2 out of 3 times they played, where neither side here has the tools or the incentive to break the game open in this first leg. Everything here screams 0-0 or 1-1, and that's what I would be betting. I would be going with the under. I would be going with 0-0, 1-1, and I would be betting the draw on this game. Next up, we've got a fun game taking place in Ecuador, and this is the Libertadores qualification match. It's the UEFA Champions League of South America, just to put it, if you're not familiar with the teams and the games. There's Barcelona SC. They're not the Barcelona. These guys are a different Barcelona. They're playing against Argentino Juniors. Barcelona SC is the home team in Ecuador. They are plus 170. Argentino Juniors are plus 180. The draw is plus 200. Barcelona has the ball usually about 52% of the time. Juniors have the ball about 54% of the time. They're early in their seasons, but Barcelona usually scores about 1.5 goals per game. That's their average. They concede 1.2 goals per game. Argentinos scores 1.4 goals per game, and they concede 1.1 goals per game. They have not played each other in a long time. And the humidity in Ecuador and the heat often slow matches down, especially for visiting South American teams, because Ecuador is in Central America. Argentinos are used to the intensity, but not necessarily this climate. Again, when you've got heat and altitude like conditions, they often produce a lower tempo. They produce more fouls, more stoppages, and fewer sustained attacks. So Barcelona SC's home strength meets Argentino Juniors' tactical discipline in a match where both of these teams' statistical profiles, their possession tendencies, and their psychological incentives point towards a very controlled, low-event, risk-averse contest. The compressed odds, the balanced goals for, goals against, and the early season draw tendencies from Argentinos all reinforce the same conclusion. This is a classic 1-1, settle it in the second leg type of match in this tournament. Next up, we've got a game on Thursday in the UEFA Conference League. We've got Ammonia versus Rijeka, and this game is taking place in Cyprus. The home team, Ammonia, is even money. They are the favorite. Rijeka is plus 265 as the road dog here. The draw is a nice, healthy plus 240 for us. Ball possession rates are very close here. Ammonia has it about 47% of the time. Rijeka has it about 49% of the time. In the Conference League, Ammonia has scored 5 goals and allowed 4. Rijeka has scored 5 goals and allowed 2. In their leagues, Ammonia is allowing 1.4 goals per game, and they're allowing 1.2 scored on them. Rijeka allows scoring 1.6 goals per game on average, and they're allowing 1.2 goals scored also. There is no head-to-head history between these two teams playing each other in the Conference League. This matchup features two sides that naturally gravitate towards structure. Ammonia at home are a compact, risk-averse, and rarely allow matches to become stretched. Rijeka, despite slightly better attacking numbers, are fundamentally a control-first side in European play. They don't chase games early, and they don't open their shape unless forced, okay? So when both teams prefer to manage the tempo rather than accelerate it, you get a low-margin contest where the first goal, if it even ever comes, can be very decisive. They're two possession-balanced, tactically cautious teams with nearly identical statistical profiles, meeting in a setting that naturally suppresses volatility. Ommonia's home conservatism and Rijeka's disciplined away structure point towards a very slow, methodical match where neither side has the tools or the incentive to break it open. Again, risk aversion is the guiding flag in most of these big tournament games. Everything here leans towards a 0-0 or 1-1 type of contest. And that's what I will be betting. Now let's go back again over to South America, where we've got in Venezuela our last match of the midweek action that we like as far as draws go. Deportivo Táchira versus Deportes Tolima. And this is in the CONMEBOL Libertadores tournament. Okay, so Táchira is plus 175. Tolima is plus 200. The draw is plus 175. Now, what have I told you before about when the draw is priced at plus 200 or less? That's when you really have to pay attention, because that's essentially Las Vegas and the sports books around the world saying, boy, there's a draw that's likely to occur here. Okay, so the Táchira is at 54% when it comes to ball possession rates. Tolima has the ball usually about 49% in this tournament, and they're both just starting out their seasons too. But in this tournament, Táchira has scored 3 times. They've allowed 2 goals scored. Tolima is a little more effective offensively. They've scored 8 times, but they've allowed 4 goals scored. So they have very rare head-to-head history, so there's really nothing comparable there. But this matchup features 2 sides that are structurally disciplined and rarely allow matches to become chaotic and crazy. Táchira at home lean on controlled possession and a compact 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1 spread on the field shape that limits transitions. Tolima are one of the more tactically consistent Colombian sides. They're organized, they're patient, they're extremely comfortable in low-tempo matches. And when both teams prefer structure over volatility, the match naturally compresses into a low-event contest. Low event, the events being the scoring. 2 disciplined, possession-balanced teams meeting in a Libertadores qualifier first leg, historically one of the most draw-friendly environments in all world football. Táchira's controlled home style and Tolima's conservative away identity point towards a slow, methodical match with limited scoring chances. The compressed odds, the defensive profiles, they reinforce the expectation that this will be another one of those 0-0 or 1-1 types of contests. There you have it. 4 great draw targets for midweek sports soccer betting action this week. And that's it for this episode of The Drawhunter. I am still your charming host, Kevin Cleary. New episodes of this show drop twice a week, Mondays like this one for all the midweek action, and on Thursdays for the weekend slate. Please subscribe to our show. You can do it at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, or wherever the heck you get your podcasts, or wherever you found us today. If you have any questions, comments, email us at drawhunterpodcast@gmail.com. From the entire Drawhunter team, thank you for listening and spending some time with us. And remember, there is no stopping it. Draws happen. Gambling involves risk. Please gamble responsibly. This show is for informational and entertainment purposes only. No guarantees are made regarding results or financial gain. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. You must be of legal age to participate in gambling activities. Check your local laws and regulations before placing any bets. And lastly, this podcast was made by human beings.